Ahoy, my name is Ramil Zanti, and this is my review for Marvel Heroes Omega for the Xbox One. Now, my review is 100% my own opinion, and I'm not being paid for it. So what is Marvel Heroes Omega? The best way to describe Marvel Heroes Omega is that it looks a lot like Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. However, it actually plays more like Diablo. So think of those two as a fusion, if you will. So what is the premise of the game? Well, Doctor Doom's been up to his old tricks. This time though, he has acquired the Tesseract, and he's basically decided to cause a lot more problems. Anyway, working under Doom, Hydra then releases a horde of supervillains from S.H.I.E.L.D's top prison, the Raft. And of course, it's up to our favourite Marvel heroes to stop them and save the day. The story plays out over 9 chapters, each featuring a unique assortment of Marvel villains, such as Ultron, Green Goblin and Rhino. The cinematics bring the story to life are cheap hand-drawn artwork and a bit dodgy dialogue, but the story feels pretty good. And this leads me on to the gameplay. Before I start on the gameplay, however, though, I'm going to move forward with the actual characters. Now, as a free-to-play game, this is an MMO. Marvel Heroes Omega makes money by selling you characters, boosts, and lockboxes. However, you do get 2 free characters right out of the gate. Daredevil will be snagged free currently from the Xbox store, and you get, I think, about 500 G to pick up from one of the characters from a small limited pool. I think it's Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Kitty Pryde, Nova and Squirrel Girl. So you get a small pack thing. Now, I actually paid for Deadpool on this, and I actually got him. He's only a pack. You can only buy him with a pack, unfortunately. There's 2 characters here which you can only buy. That's War Machine and Deadpool, and they're around £16. But you do get a, second alternative costume, might I add. Now, the rest of the playable roster of about 38 launch characters can be sampled for free. However, you can only level them up to 10. Now, there is a reason for this, because you get a variety of different perks and different attributes after level 10, and actually they're much better after level 10, so you get a taster, if it were. Now, to continue progressing after that, you'll need to buy the actual characters. Now, these can be purchased with either Eternity Splinters, like a currency dropped by the enemies in the game, or G, and that's basically the game's currency, if that's fact. Now, the characters themselves are roughly around $5 to $10 each, and they also come in bundles, but it is quite expensive, I might add. I will say that even though you can switch characters on the fly, each character's progress through the story is separate from the other characters, so do remember that. Each character, though, is fully voiced and reacts to other players' characters they meet in hubs and other areas. As I stated earlier, the game plays and feels very similar to Diablo. The players can equip and use up to 8 attack skills, with 4 assigned to the face buttons and 4 more accessible by holding the left trigger. Now, upon reaching level 10, you also get to unlock a faster movement perk. Now, the ground-based characters get like a dash or a high speed, and some characters get to fly or swing across the map. This can be pretty useful when you want to cross large areas quickly without getting hit. The combat itself feels the same as most games of this type, although I do think that the characters' superpowers are much flashier and much more interesting and visually pleasing, especially when the whole screen gets covered in particle effects. You also get to zoom in on your character using your D-pad. It's actually the right D-pad, and there's 3 settings. The trouble with doing that is it's fixed, so the more you zoom in, the less you see around you. So therefore, you end up looking in and going, yeah, this looks amazing. And then when you start playing the game, you zoom back out so you can actually see where the enemies are coming from. Now, at higher levels, you'll also be able to create a better loot through its robust crafting system. It is quite tricky at first, so I would nip onto YouTube to try and get to understand what the crafting system is. It did take me a while to work out what the hell I was doing, and I basically ignored it up to about level 30. I just went around just picking up different items and equipping to my character. I will say the loot system in this game is very well done. There is enough different drops for you to keep yourself interested, and B, also upgrade certain aspects of your character in terms of weapons, your body armor, your face mask, or your shield, and there always seems to be something that you can always upgrade to a higher starter. Besides that, also the loot itself has attributes which have different effects, so you can actually really craft your character and hone it to how you want to be. Now for me, I actually played with Deadpool, so I crafted his range to be the pinnacle of my gameplay, but I could have actually made him into a melee character, and I could have used the attributes on the actual items I found to suit that playstyle. So there's a variety of ways you can play any individual character, and with 38 of them, that's a variety of things to keep you going. I will say though that the console launch compared to the PC version is lacking in costumes and a few characters, but this will probably get buffed up as time goes by. It wouldn't be a decent MMO without its multiplayer. Now, Marvel Heroes is a bit of a hybrid. 2 local players can play online with others, and online parties consist up to about 4 players. That said, you'll visit environments that support a lot more numbers. When some of the areas I was in, there is a good 30 to 40 characters, in some cases on screen at once, and all their particle effects and all those items going off at once. It was a blur, and I actually only found a small amount of slowdown in the drop of the frame rate. Overall, this was really good in terms of multiplayer. I was actually quite surprised with the numerous amount of characters on there from different people. Now, I will say though, there is one thing that I didn't like. Any MMO normally has an interface for inviting players and chatting to them. They haven't really tied into the Xbox One's easy ability to open up friends and party lists, and even in-game chat is kind of being missed out on this. I really hope that Gazillion really implements this better with an updated patch further on in the game. Now, I will say also that the online part of it is fun, and it is actually better if you do have more than one person with you. However, it does have a great single player gameplay to it as well, and I found myself ploughing through hours trying to actually go through the story. Once the story is done, you unlock legendary missions that provide a unique resource called legendary marks, and this could be used to buy and upgrade end-game gear. There's also a variety of danger rooms which gives you extra and unique loot. Besides this, there are also side missions like patrols, operation and hero specific missions that you can play at any point throughout the game, and that's not including, as you're going around the map, you can find mini side missions as well. It's like actual mini bosses or actual just mini areas to open up and attack. There is quite a large amount of gameplay in here for a free MMO. That being said, once you have completed the game, once you have done all those missions and you've got past things, you probably end up want to try the whole game again with a new character, and this is probably where it falters for me. Now, I've played 10 hours straight on this game, and all that time I have managed to gather 70 eternity splinters. As I said earlier, eternity splinters is the currency that is dropped, and this helps you buy a character in game. Now, the characters go from minor characters, which is 200, mid-range characters 500, and the more exuberant, really special characters for 750. So for a special character, it's going to take you a minimum of 75 hours to get a high level character. which is quite a bit of time, and I don't think many people new to the genre, or even maybe hard MMO characters, will actually want to go through this amount of grind. And because of the price of these bundles as well, which is being sold, they're basically around £33 for a pack of 5, or in some cases it's £18 for one character. I think this is going to put a lot of people off. They're going to use just the 3 characters, plow through the game and never play it again, and this is a real shame. I really think Gazillion needs to drop the price of characters, probably down to a 100 for a low level, 300 to a mid-range, and 500 for the top tier. This will bring characters in it more often, and bring in new people as well, and keep the game's longevity going. So what about the graphics of the game? Well, the graphics of the game are very good, but they're not up to the PC standard. I'm gauging, and again this is a guess, that they're about 900p here, not the full 1080p which you can probably get on the PC. Don't get me wrong, the graphics is absolutely beautiful. They are a little bit chunky though when you zoom in. Again, maybe this is going to get patched later on, but overall the gameplay looks bright, vibrant, and when the particle effects go off after you fire one of your powers, you kind of forget all about it and you just enjoy the brightness and vivid colours that are happening. This also works well when you're in large areas with numerous players. I was in one area with about 30-40 people all firing off their different abilities, and it looked amazing, and there was very little slowdown. So maybe what's happened here is they sacrificed slightly the 1080p to get a consistent frame rate. I'm guessing that's probably what's happened. Overall, it does look beautiful, it's crisp, it's clear, and it's something that I think most people will be happy to play. And this leads me on to the sound of the game. The sound of the game has also been well done. The explosions are perfect. It does sound crisp and clear. The rocket explosions, your power explosions, anything how it hits something, it works well. Everything is basically done crisp and clear as you would expect from a Marvel game. The laser beams sound like laser beams. The powers you would attribute to those Marvel characters are exactly how you'd expect them to be. The voice work is actually rather good. However, the dialogue is less than stellar. I don't know whoever wrote the story for it, but it's not brilliant. Which is a shame, because the voice work has been done with care, especially certain characters. For instance, I played Deadpool. His voice work was really done really well. One thing I did like was Spider-Man's voice. However, his dialogue was atrocious. So you kind of fell in love with the voice work, but at the same time hated it, if that makes sense. You thought it was good, but you didn't really care about the actual story, which is a shame overall. Everything else seems to be really good, and when you're in multiple areas with numerous people, the sound doesn't falter either, so you can hear other people's explosions, but yours is the more empowering, so yours trumps everybody else's, so you don't feel like it's a dead effect when numerous things or explosions and battles are going on around you. Overall, they've done a very good job, and it's nice to hear. It does work better on headset than surround sound. I don't quite know what this is. Maybe it's just me, but I did find it a little crisper and a little clearer with a headset. And this leads me on to the rating of the game. Now, I rate games in order of avoid, rent, great purchase, and must own. My rating for Marvel Heroes Omega on the Xbox One is rent, and this is for the following reason. Now, you're probably a little surprised to hear me say rent after I actually have been giving it quite high praise in terms of graphics, the actual gameplay, and the sound. Well, there is a reason for that, and this is the overall value. The problem I find with this game is that it requests you to spend $120, around £100, to get all the characters, which is quite expensive for the amount of hours you're going to actually put in stroke get out of this. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of content, but $120 worth? I don't think so. Also, I don't think many people will bother continuing with a new character if they can't grind for it. Don't get me wrong, grinding's great, but to the point where you have to spend 75 minimum hours to get a character, I think this will put a few people off, and all you're going to get out of it is a variety of new powers with the same storyline. So overall, my advice to yourselves would be to use your free character. Maybe if you want a specific character, save up for that, or use the free character money that you've got from the game, or even buy him. Just buy them straight outright and then play through the game. That way you keep your money to a minimum and you get to enjoy the game at its fullest. Remember, the new character is just going to be the same story with a different voiceover and maybe a different character costume. Overall, whilst it's good, I don't think it's worth that much grinding to play to get to other characters. If you want all the characters, that's going to take you a phenomenal amount of time, and to be honest with you, I think that's going to put a lot of people off when they realise how much time they have to grind to get these characters free. Otherwise, as I said, you're spending around $120 to get all these characters. I just don't think it's worth it. Don't get me wrong, the content is good, what you get there is great, but I think it's too pricey for what the game is, and it's a shame. If they lowered the price of the characters, I'd wholeheartedly give this a great purchase recommendation. Currently at the moment, with the foundation packs and the price of the packs is around the £30 mark, or sorry, £35 mark, I wouldn't even bother. And the fact you have to grind so heavily, so long for just one character, it's just going to put way too many people off. And it's a shame, because this is a good game, unfortunately. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you liked my review. Please do comment on your thoughts on the matter. If you actually played the PC version and you are now trying it out with the console, give me your tips and hints. Maybe give me some of your, ideas on whether you believe it's better on the PC or it's actually better on the console. I do like to hear from you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, have a great time gaming, and I'll see you again soon.